I was last in India in 1960, 50 years ago. It's hard to believe it's been that long. I dream about Belgaum and Cody a lot still. It's so much a part of my life. I remember so many times coming on the train from Cody to Belgaum. It was always an overnight trip. We'd always get there early in the morning, but the sun would rise and I would look for the tabletop mountain. And once we saw that, I knew that we were getting close to Belgaum, my Indian home.
This is the circle that goes all the way around the village. For 2 days, this was just a sheet of ice, and they brought our lunches to us. This is called the Senior Citizen Center, CCC. There are 4 carts like mine that park right here. I had this made specially for it. I was thinking about Ruth's chariot. I thought, oh, I'm not old enough to go to chariot, need a chariot to go to heaven, so I just called it a rocket. You haven't met my grandson?
No.
This is Scott.
Scott?
He makes movies and stuff like that.
When I saw the red hair and the camera, I thought, oh, I bet he's going on the
the
trip.
one. He's the,
Yeah.
he looks like a Siemens with his red hair. They all had like that. This was JT's room. JT was in there for 3 years before he died, and he died right in here. J.T. Siemens was the bass member of a quartet which came to our church in 1936. And the minute I got a look at that red-headed J.T. Siemens, I thought, that's the kind of man I want to marry. We began to get acquainted, and I found out that he was from India. He said, I grew up in India. My parents are there now. They're missionaries. And we knew at the end of the first 2 or 3 days that we were just head over heels in love with each other. But he said, if you are willing to be a missionary wife, then we will be missionaries in India. And he said, I love you, and I want to marry you, and I hope that you will go with me.
I was born in Kolar, India, the first and oldest daughter of my mom and dad, who were missionaries in India.
India welcomed missionaries in those days, and Daddy went out as basically a village evangelist.
My dad had been raised in India from the time he was 3 years old.
My dad was a tremendous linguist. He could probably get by in 6 or 7 Indian languages.
Even though we were based in Belgaum, and that's where Mother stayed most of the time, Daddy would pack up a Jeep and go out into the villages for a couple of weeks at a time. He would preach and sing and draw a crowd, especially if he took his trombone, which he did a lot. This was an instrument that they were not familiar with, so he could attract a crowd with music.
And he would play their music, and they would wonder how in the world this white man knew this music and could speak their language so well. I mean, he was just a wonder. And then they would say, okay, you tell us something about God that we don't know.
Did you understand what he was doing there?
Not really. As a child at that particular time, I can't say that I really did understand. I remember going on a few trips with him.
My dad was gone a lot, so my mom really was left on her own a lot. If she didn't take care of things, nobody did. Our family was very unusual in India. First of all, girls are not valued, and my father didn't seem to be able to have any boys. And we had this hair that no one in India had, bright red hair. All of us except for Sylvia, who had dark brown hair like my mother.
Everywhere we went, in the little villages or wherever, we were followed, and they would just do nothing but stare, point, talk about us.
I just assumed that everybody had Indian playmates and spoke Kannada, which is the language that we speak in Karnataka state, which is the state where Belgaum is.
We were sent to Belgaum because there was the big Methodist mission compound.
And at the time on that compound, we lived in a big bungalow.
It was a monster of a house.
The living room was so big that us kids would ride our bicycles around and around on the outside of all the pillars in there. And that was the most awesome house ever.
We were told, I don't know if it's true or not, the story goes that it was part of the audience hall of a palace at one time.
I think it was an old converted courthouse.
Originally, it was a Raja's palace.
You could not ask for a better house to grow up in.
There were huge banyan trees in the compound around that house. We played in the banyan trees. We climbed in them, we swung on the vines, we had picnics in them. They were great trees. They were also, the cobras liked them too.
Belgaum was on the edge of the Dharwar jungle.
And that's why we had so many monkeys.
There were snakes all over the place. We were told never to go play in the tall grass.
We occasionally had scorpions.
One of the things that we were taught in India was never put your shoes on in the morning without shaking them out.
Even now, I find myself, if my shoes have been in the closet for a while, I shake them out. I'm always afraid there's a spider in there or something.
Sylvia is 4 years older than I am, and I am 5 years older than Sandy, so there's quite a range between us.
Sheila's my only American child. All the rest of them were born in India.
Sheila used to tease us and say she was the only one that could ever be president.
You were born out here. You can't be a president of the United States. I can be a president of the United States.
You know, you have to be born in America to be president, so I'm the only one.
Sylvia, boy, she ruled the roost. She was the boss.
Sandy used to get on the piano down in Belgaum and play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
She kept playing it, and we said to her, now,
Sandy, if you hit one more note, we're going to lock you in the bathroom.
I was pretty stubborn, so I just kind of took my finger and just did one more note on that piano. Ding!
So Sheila and I both got up and lifted Sandy up and took her into the back bathroom, and we locked her in there.
thinking, oh, you know, we'll let her out in a little while.
Well, they totally forgot about me. My mother probably came home and said,
Where's Sandy?
We heard this door rattling, you know, and we said, oh.
But she deserved it.
Everybody has servants in India. So as soon as I got there, knowing that I had such a huge house to keep and kids, we hired a husband and wife team.
My ayah and the cook, they did not speak any English. So to talk with them, I had to speak Cantonese.
The cook's wife, her name was Jyoti, she was my ayah for all the 12 years that we lived there in Belgaum. And she helped raise Sandy. Oh, she loved Sandy so much, and Sandy loved her.
The first 7 or 8 years of my life pretty much were spent with Jyoti. And she was like a second mom to me. They were called our servants, but they were part of the family. They were our employees. They worked right there. They lived right there. Their kids were raised with us.
3 or 4 days a week, we ate Indian food. The other days, I taught my cook how to do American food.
I loved Jyoti's curry, so I would take my allowance and I would give it to Jyoti so she could get some extra vegetables or meats, and then I'd eat at their place because she made the best curry.
I would have been away from her for 1 year between the time I was 3 and 4 because my parents came home on a furlough.
That was sort of a culture shock. It was really, really different living in southern Illinois for a year.
I remember being miserable in the school that year. I don't know whether it was because I was in America or because I was in 3rd grade. That was the first time I'd ever seen snow, and I didn't like it then. I don't like it now.
People ask me an interesting question when they hear that I was born in India. They say, "Did you like it there?" Well, it was not a matter of liking or disliking so much as I just didn't know anything different. I loved it there. It was my home.
We were fortunate to live in such wonderful places. I know there was poverty and a lot of trouble, But for a kid growing up, it was great.
I have not been back to India since 1959 when I graduated from high school. And why it's taken me so long to go back, I don't know.
We've talked for years about going back to India, but it's just never happened. So for me, it's been 51 years since I've been in India. For Sheila, it's been 50 years. For Sylvia, it's been 51 years.
When I was a kid growing up in Michigan, my mom would read to me from this book. It was about a little girl with red hair who grew up in India among wild animals. The little girl was my mother, and it was written by my grandmother. It was one of many books my grandparents had written about their years spent in India. I wanted to see India for myself, but since the farthest my family ever traveled was to Florida, India seemed like any other faraway land that you could only read about in storybooks. So when my mom called me a few weeks ago to tell me that she was going to India with her sisters, I jumped at the chance to go with them and film the whole thing.
It just so happens that my boss has himself gone to India for the last 23 years to teach. He said to me, Sheila, you really need to go back to India. And I said, oh, I can't go to India. I don't have the time, I don't have the money. He said, no, you really need to think about it.
You have been so
Look at the little cash in your
Sheila,
pocket.
do this. Want you
I'm
to
just
know I really
I just told
appreciate it.
Sheila, you need to do this.
Yeah, he started the whole thing.
I didn't know you were bringing the whole family with you.
Sandra said, oh, I want to go.
She said she can't go, and we said, oh,
got Laura at home.
come on.
I'll just eat ramen noodles and frozen pizzas. It'll be fine.
Well, every few days, call up your Uncle Jim, ask him how he's doing.
This will be the longest that we've ever been apart from each other. 2 weeks.
How are you feeling about that, Jim?
I don't know, Ma. I don't know if I want to go yet.
You're still thinking about it.
He's thinking about it. You said you're 20 years younger, you'd go.
Absolutely.
I would if I were 20 years
I
younger.
bet you'd do if you're 10 years younger.
You bet what?
I think you'd go even if you're 10 years younger.
Well, it would be a question.
Will you be able to actually see the place where you all lived?
We hope.
Yeah.
We hope so.
Belgaum is a place where there really is,
You can only get there
no
by train.
commercial. You can only get there by train.
Plus, by the train is the way to see India.
Well, of course,
It
we
is.
wanted to go on the
That's
train.
what
They got
Gandhi
this.
said.
I'm sure we'll find it much more crowded than when we left 50 years ago. It was crowded then, but you can imagine after
And
all
much
that
more
period.
Western than.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for starting the whole shebang.
You started it by going to India in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, the Lord started it.
He always trace it back to the
Yeah,
Lord.
we
Yeah.
can. It's all his fault.
The family is extremely conservative, very religious. I'm the one person that stands out as being totally different. I never really have been into religion the way that they have. Mary and I met when I was 40 years old. She's been my partner for 29 years. My family has accepted Mary as much as they can.
I've been treated very well by her family, by everybody. They're very highly educated, very smart. They have a lot of history. I don't know how I was so lucky to meet this family and be part of them, because they are like my extended family.
So in that respect, it will be an interesting trip because my sisters have a totally different point of view about the world than I do.
It will be interesting to see the dynamics here now that we're all grown up.
This is going to be the first time in a very long time that we have been thrown together day in and day out. We're either going to love each other more or we're going to be at each other's throats. Who knows?
Sheila made up some shirts for us that say Seaman's India Sojourn. And then on the back, we each have our first name. And I'm sure she will be expecting us to wear those in India together. I think it's kind of corny, but maybe it's cute too.
For each of us to go back to India, it is a fulfillment of a long, long-term dream. We'll just concentrate on the 3 places we want to go. To Bangalore, where Tata Seamans, our grandfather, is buried. To Kodaikanal, and to Belgaum, where we grew up, which is all down in South India.
I'm excited about it. I'm a little bit nervous about traveling that far away from home now, at the age that I'm at.
I think the thing I'm looking forward to the most is seeing the house in Belgaum. That was my home for 8 years. That's really going to be special. And I know it will be different.
I'm going to try not to be too dismayed when things are not as I remember them, because of course they never are.
I'm sure there's a lot more traffic, a lot more cars. Some things may not change. You still may see the buffalo on the side of the road. Mom said they're going to remember the Siemens. And I said, well, a lot of the people may not, because it's been so many years. 50 years is a long time. Most of those people are long gone.
I wish my mom could go. She wishes she could go, but at the age of 94, even though she gets around very well, she has very poor eyesight.
If I could see better, if I had my vision that I could really see, I think I would go, even though I'm as old as I am.
Are you leaving? I love you, Mommy. I'm going to miss you.
Yeah, I'm going to
miss you. Yeah, but we'll have a wonderful time and come back with all kinds of stories.
I want to know everything that happened.
Merry Christmas. Love you.
I love you, sweetheart. I hope you have a marvelous time.
Thank you.
Goodbye, dear. Bye, Mary. You take care of the house. Okay.
You take care of yourself, and
I
you have
will.
a wonderful, happy
Yes,
trip with all
I
kinds
will.
of memories when you come back.
I will.
I'm so happy for her.
I hope they feel at home when they get there. And I hope you do. This is your first trip, and I think you're going to be surprised at some things, and you're not going to be surprised at other things.
Yeah.
And I hope that you really love the country.
This is just amazing. This is not in India, I remember.
I know.
Wonderful weather.
It is wonderful weather, I don't care if the wind is blowing, it's cool. There's no snow.
Are they going to stay up there?
Yeah, right, no problem.
Let's hope so. Bangalore has grown up into a big, big city since we were here. ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿ ನಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮರ್ತು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದನು
ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು
ಅಮೇರಿಕ ದೇಶ Kentucky and Michigan.
So rest of all the people don't know the languages.
My akka remembers some. My ತಂಗಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆರು ಕಾಲು 6:15 ಆರು ವರೆ 6:30 ಆರು ಮುಕ್ಕಾಲು 6:45 ಏಳು ಗಂಟೆ.
Wow!
Extraordinary.
How do you remember that for 50
I don't know. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
And you flunked.
Chauras.
Oh, very. Look at
I
this.
forget the rest.
You flunked Hindi when you were in second grade.
Thank you.
Works. Good night.
I understand that Bangalore has changed a lot since we lived there. It used to be a beautiful garden city. It was always so green. I remember the flowers and the trees everywhere. And we've been told that a lot of that is gone and it's going to be totally different for us. So that will be kind of a shock.
Oh, look at the temple. Wow, that's quite a view
Oh,
from here.
yeah. Look at all the trash.
Classic used cars, and look at the one sitting out
isn't that hilarious?
That's pretty classic.
There are more than 100,000 tuk-tuks are there in Bangalore. Autorickshaw.
You have lots of TV channels here too, and everybody talks on a cell phone.
Even beggars, they have the cell phone.
So much traffic. Woo.
This is a holiday, madam. There is no traffic.
No traffic today?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Holiday.
At the moment, we have 1.10 billion population. We are self-sufficient in food. That's a great achievement. India is a very rich country, but Indians are poor. Still more than 32% people living below the poverty line.
32%.
The gap between rich and poor is too much. Rich will be the richer, poor will be the poor.
It's a big step.
Pillar is there in front of the temple. That's a living temple. There will be a priest. Every day puja will be there. If the pillar is not there, it's only a monument.
Are these two-way streets or one-way streets?
Are these made here in Bangalore?
They're made in Bangalore?
I have a feeling that our friend, the taxi cab driver, is probably a relative. Which is okay. What are friends for, huh? It's gorgeous. Oh.
Wow. Please wait. Just turn that. Just turn this.
All right, no laughing. You're laughing. That would fit.
Yes. I don't think it's too large. You have to just do it.
I know.
Is this a good color for me? This is one
Yes.
of my favorite colors.
Yes, actually it is.
Yeah. He's gonna break his arm off.
Hello, Scott. Fancy meeting you here.
You having fun?
Oh, having just a ball. Just a ball.
You hate not to, but if you have to one, you gotta give to everybody. Ah, look this, mama. Ah, look this.
Ah, there we go.
Elizabeth. Those people are British people.
My name's Sandy. Sandy. Kumar Swami.
To talk about what we're going to do in Bangalore, I have to talk about my grandfather, as we call him, Tata Siemens.
Tom Tom's herald the arrival of Dr. E.A. Seaman. He is affectionately called Tata, meaning grandfather. Respected and loved by one and all for his dedicated service for nearly half a century to the people of this region.
Tata and Aji were my grandparents, and they had two sons, Uncle David and my dad, JT, and both of them were also missionaries.
Tata was a civil engineer, and he spent his life in South India preaching, but he used his civil engineering skills to draw up plans for all kinds of buildings in South India.
In his lifetime, he built over 200 churches, missions, schoolhouses, homes for missionaries, homes for village teachers, clinics. Once he retired, he would go back to India every year and do some more building.
During the time that the Methodist Church in South India was celebrating its 100th anniversary, Tata was named the Missionary of the Century.
If any missionary ever deserved it, he sure did.
In 1983, Tata was 92, and he wanted to go back to India one more time. And the family said, Tata, you're too old to go back to India.
He looked so frail to me. And I said, Tata, I don't want you to go to India. I'm afraid you're going to get sick and die there. And he said, as he said 100 times, India is just a little bit closer to heaven than America is. So if he died in India, that was fine with him. And that's exactly what happened.
He was taken to Vellore Hospital. Vellore is a city in India. But the interesting thing about the Vellore Hospital is Tata built the Vellore Hospital. So he died there. Then his body was taken to Bangalore, and he was buried in Bangalore. We were not there for the funeral that was held in the Bangalore church. It went on for hours while the Indian people came and gave tribute to Tata Siemens. And so the two places we want to go in Bangalore are the Richmond Town Methodist Church. My Uncle David was pastor there for many years. My dad was pastor there for 1 year, and Tata was also pastor there at some time. So we want to go visit that church and the cemetery where he is buried.
Hello.
How are you?
Nice
Sylvia
meeting you.
Siemens.
Yes.
We wanted to come and see the church.
You will not see any of those old buildings and other
No.
things. Everything is new here.
See the fox. Yeah.
She told me it was gone, and
How many years gone?
I think about 7 years, madam.
well, we just missed it. We lived there for 1 year in the parsonage.
This was built in 1991.
Really? Oh,
Yes,
this is not even the same church. No wonder I don't recognize it.
I was just thinking about those silver stars that they used to put up at Christmas time. Three-dimensional, 5-pointed three-dimensional stars. They always decorated this way at Christmas.
Thank you.
Hey, Uncle David's picture is here.
Oh, man. Look how young you are.
The old parsonage was sitting where?
It was there.
It was right here.
Right here.
Okay.
It was too old, so we demolished, and now we don't have. We need a lot of space for parking.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's true.
Our uncle.
Because I know very well.
My father also very well. He got all this letters. He wrote just like Tata.
Yeah.
I'm very glad to meet you.
Thank you.
You know Kannada? Your father was a Kannada Pandit.
Oh, yeah.
He has written many hymns.
Did you use his song?
Yeah. He's still in rural churches. He still uses his song.
Tata Siemens had used this chair. I'm using it.
You're using Tata Siemens chair?
Yeah. His name is there somewhere underneath.
Here's another book that will help you to see a few things here.
Oh, look at there, there's Tata, 1949. Oh, look at this. You recognize that picture?
Oh my.
That would have been just before we left.
This is my favorite purple sari dress.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you showing us around.
Yeah.
And we do want to go and find the cemetery. Wish we had flowers.
Yeah, we don't. Do we?
Would have been nice to bring some flowers. Were you at Papa's funeral?
Yes, I was.
You were there.
I was standing somewhere there.
Is that right?
Yes.
Many people were there.
Yes, many people.
Our beloved Tata, so full of stories.
Absolutely.
Really wanted to die here.
I remember how difficult it was when he left and he never came back. It's just like he went on a long journey. And
Uncle
So,
David was not
came.
here when he died, was
No.
he?
nobody was here. when he
Nobody
died.
was here. He came about 2-3 weeks ahead of time, and Tata was talking about, oh, he was going to do this and that. Uncle David said to him that, you know, your work is finished.
Uncle David said, what
And-
did Jesus say
Yeah.
at the end? And he had said, I have done the work that you sent me to do.
Yeah.
He said, Dad, same thing for you. So I think that kind of released him, gave him permission to put it down.
I was always sad that he never knew that I was pregnant again. Oh, with Scott. So he never knew I had a son.
God, we thank you for Tata Siemens and his ministry here in India. We also thank you for his children, John D. Siemens and David Siemens. We remember them with gratitude because they have done so much for your church here in India. And we thank you for their children and grandchildren. God, we pray that you bless them.
Because there was no American school in Belgaum, the missionary kids all over South India were sent to Kodaikanal School, which was in deep South India, about 7,000 feet up in the Paldi Hills. So when I was 7, I went to boarding school. We lived there 9 months out of the year.
They Image of perfection. Beautiful.
I was extremely homesick that first year at boarding school. As I got older, Sheila and Sandy joined us. We had a great time in Cody then. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
It's a good thing Mom's
It's a
not here.
good thing Mom did not come. This traffic would have made her heart stop. That would have been the end of it. She would be screaming the whole time, oh, 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 look out, oh, watch out. Oh. What was that?
Just so long as it wasn't a tire.
Yeah. Oh, look. You can see the mountains over there.
Begin to see them.
Yes, you can.
What I remember is the little bridge that was the signal that we were going up.
Yeah.
We would always
This is
hoop and
it.
holler when
I
we were
know.
coming down the Ghat.
Right.
We were going up the Ghat. We was kind of heaved this sigh.
The Ghat is a mountain road. And as you rode up the hill, you could feel the temperature drop because you were going up 7,000 feet.
There's a monkey.
There, look, a whole bunch of them.
Oh, there's a bunch of them. I can't believe I got all the way to Cody Canal before I saw a monkey. Huh. That's amazing.
It's as bad as we remember it.
Yes, it is.
Except we always came on a bus, which was even worse.
You know, yeah.
And I always upchucked, I'll tell you that right now. Oh. Are you feeling? Oh, I'm fine. Rat Tail Falls is a high, skinny falls that is it's still here, one of the physical features that we always looked for when we went up this Ghat. I bet you this has got to be it.
I see it.
Do you?
Do you?
This is all.
It's right there. Oh, yes.
Restores my faith in
Your
nature,
memory?
in Mama Nature and my memory.
Living off the tourists.
Yes, they are.
Cody Canal is a place of eucalyptus trees. The British planted them, and you begin at one point then as we got close to Cody, I'll never forget, you can begin to smell the yuki trees.
So many new little places along the Ghat that weren't here before. There was nothing. Beginning to get high enough to hit the clouds.
Let's hope we have some clear days so
Yeah.
we can see down to the plains.
Well, they've taken Silver Cascade and
made it into a
made
tourist
it
trap.
into a tourist trap.
We may find
Look
that
at
all over
that.
Cody. Did you see that sign? PMS, vegetables and non-vegetables. Hotel PMS.
Hotel PMS. Just for us old ladies.
Oh my gosh, look at this intersection.
I know.
Oh my.
Cody School?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Cody
You just
School.
barely see it. Boy, this is awesome. We don't recognize any of this.
Let's just take a look at the fog rolling in. Oh, yes. It's been rolling in for 50 years.
Yes, it has.
one place we don't need a guide.
Yeah. This stuff was all open, so this,
Yeah,
this
there were
is
no
all-
walls,
no,
nothing like
nothing.
that. No shops, none of this was here.
Okay, now this is the Seven
Okay,
Roads,
and this is Cycler.
Cody's school right here.
Right here.
I graduated in 1959. That's the year I was born.
Don't remind us. Please don't remind us.
I thought I was old, but then you're looking younger than anyone I know at your age.
Can you show us around?
Most certainly.
Oh,
I
I'm so
can.
glad.
That's where I would write my letters. Please come get me. I hate it here. I'm so homesick. And they would read our letters and not let us send it. They'd make me tear the letter up and write another one saying that I'm okay.
I'm doing well in school.
I'm doing well in
I
school.
love it here, Mom.
Yeah, I love it here, Mom. I was so homesick. I was like 6.
Sylvia came first, so she had the rough part. I came next. I was happy as a clam. Yeah. And Sandy came a little bit and didn't like it and was taken home.
I won't tell my story.
Uh-oh. I bet
what
you
I
climbed
did.
out windows.
I did. I did. A bunch of us one night decided that we would climb out the window. So we tied sheets together, opened the window, and we went out. We snuck into that compound and we went all the way up to the boys' dorms. You know, who knows why. Just to say we did it. Had we gotten caught, we would have been
They would have been
expelled.
kicked out of school. No
Really?
question.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that was. When I broke my nose, it was here on Kennedy Court. I broke my nose and came up these stairs and left my blood trail.
All the way up, and there was a
Went through
bathroom
into the
back
quad, into the bathroom.
This is where Sheila bled all over the place. We're gonna get a picture of the bathroom.
It's much nicer now than it was then.
Sheila in the bathroom.
We understand there's an award here named after Sylvia Siemens.
Yes, there is.
We want to see that.
A sports award.
Sports
Yes.
award, yes. Badminton. I don't know if the Sylvia Siemens Cup is here or not.
Which one are we looking
The
for?
Sylvia Siemens Cup? Oh, they're in, okay, they're in there. Okay. Is this going to be open at all this week?
This week, yes. How long are you here?
We're here till Thursday.
And we have Monday today. So yeah, it should be.
I am part of a committee here in Kodaikanal, which is the Kodai Citizens Committee, and they were trying to fight all these illegal hotels that keep popping up. And it's so difficult because they've paid off the cops. But we're trying to do that because that's the whole beauty of Kodai as compared to a lot of other hill stations in this country. Is that it's quiet, it's small, it's personal.
It doesn't have the natural beauty that it did 50 years ago.
I remembered Kodaikanal as being one of the most beautiful places on earth. The mountains, the plains, the lights.
The beautiful places, well, I understand everybody wants to see them and they have a right to see them, but it's too bad that it wasn't controlled a little bit better.
Sheila and Sylvia and I loved the Indian food. The only thing is, going back there now, I'm not used to how hot they serve it, because when my mom makes it in this country, she doesn't make it as hot.
Don't you go eating Indian food 3 days in a row. You'll have terrible diarrhea. Your stomach is not used to that.
I don't know if I believe her or not, but I don't know if I'll test it either. Very good. The real stuff.
If you eat curry one day, don't eat it the next day.
Now this is how it's done, Scott. You take your chapati, you wrap it with food in it, and you start munching. I feel the heat already. First bite. It's warm. It's warm. I got some of the Mysore curry. If I survive it. Woo! We have to get our India legs back.
I know.
Our India tummies.
Yeah.
This.
Your stomach is not used to that.
We're not going to be able to stick to our no 3 days in a row period.
I know. How does this rate?
You'll have terrible diarrhea.
You'll have terrible diarrhea.
I must say I have a few GI problems.
I had to go a second time this morning myself, but you know, I'm hoping that's the end of it.
Well, we'll see. Just hope it doesn't get worse.
I have a very distinct memory as a little girl of Mom and Dad taking me into a Hindu temple. And it's amazing that a child of the age of 6 or something can feel that oppression. I didn't know what it was, but I just wanted to get out of there. So I really...
Was it really that, or was it the attitude of your parents which permeated, you know?
I don't know.
Now, I did not feel anything.
See, I don't feel that.
No, I didn't this time.
This time?
No.
No.
I feel like on this trip, all of us are kind of going with an open mind to whatever we run into, which is a good way to be, I think, as a tourist and as, you know.
Right.
Sylvia's back in her room. She's suffering. She was sick all night, vomiting and diarrhea. I'm feeling a little better today.
We took her some tea. Hopefully she can keep some tea down this morning. But she didn't feel like going out and about.
She had a really rough night. We came back from India in 1959. We were planning on going back the following summer, which would have been in 1960.
Because our school began in June, I actually went to India by myself, ahead of my family. And I will never forget, one of the workers from the principal's office came and called me out of class. And he said to me, "You have a telephone call." I can remember being absolutely terrified, because my assumption was if somebody was calling me on the phone, then somebody had died. It was a very bad connection. I could hardly understand them, but the gist of it was my parents were telling me they could not come to India.
Sandy was very sick. She had histoplasmosis.
The mission board would not give clearance for our family to go back to India because they feared that the climate over there would kill me with this condition.
And just like that, my parents' missionary career was over.
I was very disappointed that we couldn't go back. I really did miss India a lot.
I can only imagine now what it must have been like for my dad, who had grown up in India himself, then had gone back to be a missionary for nearly 20 years, and to suddenly be told that part of your life is over.
So my parents had a very big decision to make at that time.
Fortunately, Asbury Seminary here in Wilmore had been after him for some years.
So my dad then became a teacher of future missionaries.
And so in that way, to really extend his influence in a way he never could have on the mission field, just kind of one-on-one, he would take his January term class to visit the mission field, and most of the time he went to India when he did this. So he got to go back to India and show them how it was done.
I think I quickly adjusted to life in the United States. It was probably a lot harder for Sheila and Sylvia because they had done so much of their education in India.
After being down for what, 36 hours? Oh. Not fun, not fun. I have no idea what happened. Got into something, I guess. I'm a little weak. I can't walk a great distance, but we're going to go back to the school today and try and get in some building. I think I can do that.
Hello. Come have a seat, please.
In the dining room, there's the Sylvia Siemens cup.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Sylvia Siemens.
And she's
Well,
Sylvia
you go and have a
Siemens.
look.
Yeah,
You must have been quite the athlete,
I was in my day.
She won the
50
K Award.
years ago.
In her senior year, you won the K Award.
I've always known about the Siemens Cup. It's amazing to meet people.
I'm weak.
Oh yeah, you need to sit?
No, I just.
Nothing like I was the other day.
That's a little climb.
Yeah. Here it is, right here.
So is somebody named the winner of that cup every year then?
Yes.
I see. Do they still give the K award then?
Yes.
You don't still have your K?
You know, I kept it for so long, and then I think in all the moves it probably lost.
In May you'll be giving out the Siemens Cup, and that's
Well, it's nice, very nice to meet you.
What event did you win, or what sports did you do when you were here?
You know, I always did discus, I did the 100-yard dash, standing jump,
Standing broad jump, yeah.
long jump, basketball, tennis.
So did you come first in all the events? I'm just asking.
A lot of them, yes.
She must have if she got the K award.
First or second.
Do we have any Ks here?
Yes. You held it for a while, didn't you? Didn't that
No,
record?
can I get one?
Yeah.
Adrian, if you would present.
Oh, let's get a picture of
Well, it's
Sylvia
my
holding
great pleasure to award you this.
Oh, look at that. Now hold it. Yeah, hold it up so we can see it.
It's going on the back of one of my jackets.
That's great.
How about that? That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. This means a lot. This really does.
Oh, my.
One of the serendipities of this trip, and one of the reasons that my boss even brought it up, was that my cousin Steve Siemens and his older sister Sharon and his younger sister Debbie, all of whom grew up in India and went to Cody School, are actually going to be in India at the same time we are.
Which will be really quite amazing that the cousins will cross paths 10,000 miles away.
Look at that.
These folks are really freaked out. What is going on here? We left at 8 o'clock, got here about 11:15 or so. Yeah. We have not eaten anything but Indian food since we've been here.
And you're all holding up.
We're doing okay.
Your first time, Debbie?
Yeah. But it's weird. I just went. It was like this is normal. Yeah, it was really strange.
For me, it was like
it's like I'm not an American now.
I don't feel home until I get back here, because my roots are here. I mean, I was here till I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
You know, and so when I come back here, it's just like peace washes over me, and I know I just feel like I'm more myself. Don't you?
Yeah.
Steve does.
I do.
It was really good to see all the people that have become Christians as a result of our parents' work. And that made me weep.
Yes.
Because I thought about all the bad things we had been through as children, and it was hard.
Don't you feel full circle?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like we're back. What they did mattered, and it's still going on.
It was that.
Yeah. I mean, it's super emotional.
There's a place here, there's a Christian ashram here. It might be the most beautiful view of Cody. If you guys are interested, we can take you out there.
This is more like the old days.
You had to be on one of those roads to be in,
Yeah, absolutely.
for all time's sake,
We were just
right?
saying this is more like a village road.
Yeah. This is what our dads had to do, except they had Jeeps.
Oh, gosh, you can just imagine what the view would be like.
Oh, my goodness. It's so beautiful up here. Oh, wow, here comes some sun. Come on. We want to see this.
It changes moment to moment,
Yes, it
unfortunately, and
does.
if you're not here at the exact... Oh, that's too bad.
Oh, well.
Yes. Oh, it's so nice and quiet up here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, this is kind of a little piece of what Cody used to be.
Yep.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's just so quiet.
out.
Daytime.
Yeah.
Somewhere or other.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good to see
Worked
you.
out really good.
See
So,
you back in
Back in the States.
Yeah. Welcome home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good.
I'm glad you're feeling better. Good to see you here still on this side of the world.
A little queasy, but better. Much better.
Yeah. After Cody, we will go back to Bangalore by train.
And we're going north and a little bit west to Belgaum.
I am really looking forward to being on those trains again.
Some of my most vivid memories is riding on the trains.
The sound lulled you to sleep. It's just this clickety-clack, clickety-clack. It's this very monotonous, soothing sound.
When I get to the train stations, I think it will raise a lot of memories and emotions coming into Belgaum. In a train, getting off at that train station like we used to do year after year after year as kids.
It's on this side?
3.
3? 3.
Do you have to go over there?
Yes, but the train doesn't come till 8:30.
We wanted to feel India, we got it. This is bad, really bad.
Whose idea was this? Oh, this was just too bad. Faulty memories from childhood.
What do you say? We should be down there?
Way up there.
How do you know? Did he
I
talk to somebody?
talked to everybody until I found out.
I think you guys are getting scared too much.
Yes, this train is too big.
You will have sufficient time, don't worry.
Oh yeah, you think?
10 to 12 minutes.
It's way up there.
Don't panic, Sylvia.
Sheila, relax.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Well, I can't because you guys are standing here.
Whose suitcase this is?
Well, we're blocking the whole walkway here, so we can't just stand here.
Hey, my suitcase is over there. Well, go and find your thing, Sheila. We'll bring it.
Well, I can't leave anything there.
I know, I'm not going to.
കാട് നൈസ് ഒന്നുമില്ല.
I think it was in the late 80s that we went the last time.
You and JT went together?
We went on a visit just where you're going. We went back to Belgaum, and we went to the church. We went to our house. Our house was just about the same at that time.
What was it like going back?
Oh, it was wonderful. I sat and cried half the time. I couldn't help it. I was just homesick for Belgaum. I just loved that place. And to go there again was really something.
So how's your first train ride?
Sleepless. Sleepless in Bangalore.
Did you sleep at all? Did you sleep at all, Sheila?
Very little. I finally sat up most of the night. I used to like those train rides with the rocking motion and everything. It seemed like it put me to sleep. Doc kept me awake. I just have this horrible fear that the banyan trees are gone. Oh, gosh, I hope not.
Remember our picnics in the banyan tree? Haul up Coke on a rope and caramels. Hauled them up and had a feast up there.
That was the life. This train used to come in very early, like at 6 o'clock in the morning or something, for us to get on, coming back from Cody. And I can remember getting up really early and looking for that tabletop mountain, because that told us that Belgaum was right there. I don't know, it may have grown up by now. Well, I don't know where it is. It's on the other side.
We're hoping that there will be some people there who have been informed that we're coming. We're hoping that there might be some people even to meet us at the train station.
I don't want to expect a brass band at the Belgaum railway station. It's possible they would have some kind of a welcome. They do love to meet people and greet them in that way.
We're supposed to have one air-conditioned Innova, which was the same kind of car we had, I think, in Bangalore. Well, they can certainly spot us.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Auntie?
No, I'm sorry. No, tell her, Joe. I cannot. There's station master, whoever he is, says, you can always get a car, you can go to the hotel. I know that, but our car is paid for, and I don't want to buy another one. What is today? I've left Friday, isn't it? This is Friday. New Year's. No, it's not. It's the 31st. This is the 31st. Tomorrow's the first of the new year. Oh, yes. Oh. I guess I'll have to get a new one after all. Hold it by then. Reverend Sheppard. How are you? Is it convenient for us to come over this afternoon to see you? Okay, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay. I'm to call him when we're ready? Yeah. Okay. So if we want to say 2 o'clock or something, we're good.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't want to go to the service tonight.
No.
I know it's New Year's Eve, but honestly, I didn't sleep last night. I can't.
We don't need to do that. We're just, if we go in the morning, is that okay? To go in the morning service?
Yeah. Take a look. Take a look at the city of L.A. Whee! Boy, I don't recognize anything. Nothing. It's grown up so much.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
So nice to
Welcome
meet you.
home.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here.
Do wear your seatbelts for a safe drive.
Okay.
My father was a preacher who worked under Dr. J.T. Siemens.
Really?
And I met Dr. J.T. Siemens quite a few times during his visits to India.
Yeah.
Yes. Belgaum is a very pleasant place. Many people are coming and settling down here.
Yes, the weather is great.
The weather is good, and then the cost of living in Belgaum is very affordable. Life is simple. Everyone can make a life according to their
wishes here.
Yes. This is Mission Compound.
Oh, look at this. This is amazing.
That's the bungalow in which you grew up.
Look at that.
We'll go in and see.
The house is still standing. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
And the banyan trees are still there.
Are they still
And there
there?
is a Christmas tree there.
My
Yes.
mother said, please look and see if the Christmas tree that she planted is still
It's there,
there,
it's
and
there.
it is still there. It is still there.
Tata Siemens baptized me in this church.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, yes. When we go home, I'll tell you the recent battle that we are fighting with land grabbers in Belgaum with regard to our property.
I heard about that.
Oh, it's a big battle. We are fighting in.
Look at the size of those trees. I know. Look how big they are. Beautiful.
Lot of snakes
Oh, yes.
in those trees.
Yes, my mother always said, don't go up in that tree. There are snakes up there. But we did.
What kind of snakes?
Do you have
Oh, all
cobras?
kind,
kinds?
yeah,
Stripes
there are
and
cobras
and-
also.
We used to swing on these banyan things like Tarzan. Like Tarzan. We used to climb up and sit up there.
Yeah. This was our Aya's home. Our Aya was Jyoti, and her husband Joseph was our cook. So they
lived there.
It's 1.5 years since I am here. We have done a little renovation. This has been constantly under repair because the monkeys sometimes they come and jump the tile. But it's a too big structure to maintain. Yes. Come in and see.
Ride our bikes in here.
Yeah.
We would ride our tricycles around
Please sit
and
down,
around
please
and
sit
around.
This is where Mom said, at times, a monkey would be in every window.
These are homemade.
Now you're going to make us very fat.
Yeah.
We have never bought this property on ownership. It's on lease. Petty politicians, land grabbers,
I see.
antisocial elements had played all the tricks and made all the arrangements, to take over.
To
So
take
that-
over the whole compound?
That's what they are trying now.
What do they want?
It is gold mine. It is
Well,
today. It is 500 crore worth, property.
Is that
A vacant land,
Oh my.
and then it will sell like.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
We say, as we say in America, like hotcakes.
Yes, our property has become like free for all. Free for all. See all these files and documents, the court documents.
This is all the legal stuff.
It is now do or die situation.
Yeah.
But from the time I have come, I am fighting with a determination. They thought these church people will never fight, but this time we have shown them that if you push us to the wall.
Enough is enough.
Yes. I am standing in between the police and the public. They are.
Goodness. We will pray for you. We certainly
Yeah.
will. We will
Thank
take your problem back to
Yeah,
our
we will
churches.
take. So these people wanted to take over everything, including all of the buildings.
That they cannot do. The court will not allow that.
I
But
see.
they are fighting for the whole thing so that we will part with some vacant land. And see, this is more than 10 acres, this whole
Yes.
stretch.
Yes.
They have their eye office. We are guarding this day and night. And we have the police here for the last 3 to 4 months. That's how we have taken control of the situation. This is one of the parsonages. Tata Cements' name is there on that. Reverend E.A. Cements, the builder of churches and parsonages.
Now, who do those cows belong to? And why do they wander the streets?
No, some people let them on the street. They say they are dedicated as holy cows.
I see.
So they just expect the world to take
And
care of
then
them, I guess.
who takes care of the poor cows?
Nobody. If they go in front of any house, they will feed them a little.
Other than that, they just...
Otherwise, they are on their own. Please feel free if you need anything, you know, that we can do, we would like to do.
Thank you so much. You've done
Because,
so much already.
Because you are our guests and we are here to, you know. And we are here because you were here. Because Dr. J.T. Simmons was here.
Yes, that's right.
You want to use the bathroom?
Yeah,
That would be nice.
I think that would be nice.
Yeah, you know where it is.
Hey, let's lock Sandy in, shall we?
She was asking the other day, how did they lock me in?
All these doors, they are the original ones.
Yes. Go on in and we're going to lock you
I
in.
only play
Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
I know.
That's it.
I remember Mother told us not to play out here.
Yeah,
Because there were snakes in the grass.
I did encounter a snake back
Did
there.
you?
I don't know who was more scared, me or the snake, but I remember as a kid running all the way around in the house. I was so scared.
Yes? Do we have to let her out?
Okay,
Oh, very
all
well.
right.
But
We'll
only,
let you
but
out.
only because we need to use the facilities.
Did it again.
Okay, have a good rest.
Thank
Tomorrow morning we'll 8:45 he will come to pick you up.
Okay. 8:45, yeah. I don't exactly know what all goes on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I remember firecrackers on New Year's. I remember that. Yes?
Are they working?
Not really.
I can't get mine in right. So how much sleep do you think we're going to get tonight?
Not very much.
What, you hearing the thumping?
Come here, you don't hear it? Come here, listen.
I hear a low bass. Is that what you're hearing?
No, look out of my room.
It's way worse on this side.
It looks like fun. We should go.
After staying up all last night?
No, thanks.
You're not going to sleep anyway. Might as well join the party.
Would you like to come spend the night with me?
No, that's okay.
Oh, well. Good night, y'all.
All right.
you may recognize them. We are very happy that the daughters and the grandson of Dr. J.T. Siemens are with us. Will you please come forward? I would like to welcome them traditionally on behalf of the pastors and the congregation with flowers and garland them.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Sylvia Siemens. I am a doctor, now retired in Kentucky, and my father was J.T. Siemens, and I grew up in that house.
I am Sheila, the second daughter of four. I am the secretary to the president of Asbury Theological Seminary in Wilmore, Kentucky, and I grew up in that house. I am Sandy. I am the third daughter of J.T. Siemens, and it is a real joy to be in my childhood church, and it was a great joy to be able to go through our childhood home yesterday. And I bring you greetings from the Methodist Church in Michigan, USA, from my two daughters and my son Scott.
My name is Scott Sheppard. Sandy is my mother. Reverend J.T. Siemens is my grandfather, and Tata Siemens was my great-grandfather. And this is my first visit to India, and I'm very happy to be with you this morning. Thank you for having us.
We are delighted this morning, and we thank God that after a gap of about 50 years, that they have been able to come back to India. Now, on behalf of the family, Sheila will be saying a few words to us.
I bring you greetings from my mother, Ruth Siemens. Audige ಒಂಬತ್ತು ನಾಲ್ಕು ವರ್ಷ ತೊಂಬತ್ತು ನಾಲ್ಕು ವರ್ಷ ಮತ್ತು ಅವರದು ಕಣ್ಣು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಕಿವಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಮೆತ್ತಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. She would have come if she had been here. And she asked me to give you, all of you, her love. Our father, J.T. Siemens, has been dead now for 6 years, but he's looking down on us with Jasti Santosha. Also, Tata Siemens is very happy today, and I just cannot tell you how happy we are to be back after all this time. Thank you so much.
On behalf of the whole congregation and South India Regional Conference, I would like to acknowledge what the Siemens family have done in our country. We are here because of what they have done. Thank you for taking time to be with us this morning in this worship service. God bless you.
Happy New Year. 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 Happy New Year.
Oh, you look so beautiful. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
How wonderful to spend New Year's Day in our old home, our home church. This is our home church.
Yes. This is just an unexpected unexpected joy to be here in this church, and it was worth the whole trip.
Just about.
When he got the garland. Very emotional. Yeah.
And the love that just pours out of these people because of our Tata, our father, it's still here. And it's all still remembered. And wow, we have been so blessed to have this kind of heritage and these kinds of memories and to be able to revisit them.
It was worth lying awake on the train all night.
It was.
It was worth all the boom boom.
And it was all the boom boom. And it was worth not being picked up at the train station.
Oh, this was wonderful. This was one of the reasons we came.
Never would have dreamed I'd see it again. One last look.
I have enjoyed it so much, visiting the places where we spent our childhood.
In some ways, it's matched my expectations, maybe some ways even exceeded my expectation.
I haven't talked to Mom in 2 weeks now, and I know she's so anxious to hear about our trip, and I'm anxious to tell her about it.
I've always known that my grandparents were missionaries, but I just didn't realize the full scope of my family's work here. And I'm so proud to be a member of the Siemens family.
It's been a hard trip, and I think we're all just worn out. I'm ready to go back to the U.S.
I think this is probably my one and only trip to India. I can't see coming back anytime soon.
I think this will be a goodbye to India. That's bittersweet, but you know, it's also like a sense of closure and coming full circle back to India. It's been wonderful, it's been exhausting, and I'm ready to go home.
Even if my mom and my aunts don't make it back to India, I know that I will. I just hope that it doesn't take me another 50 years.